Whenever I had to look up different Seamus Heaney poems, I went onto the internet and looked up different ones that I thought would be quite nice to put into an image or remove an image to express how it felt and how it meant. So I wrote it onto the internet, and these are the poems that I picked that out of all of them I like the most. They're just sections from different poems, and they're all named what poems are in them. And from the very beginning, once I looked at all these poems, and some of them I kind of really wanted to have the balloon popping in them, and I thought that this one went very, very well with the top one here. For every one of us living in this world means a waiting for our end, which is in the poem Beowulf, which is Seamus Heaney's interpretation of the poem. So I really, really liked that one. I thought I could do something very adventurous with that section of the poem and with that quote. So I thought that I could add in my idea of the balloon popping and the eyes popping and symbolising death, and the balloon symbolising people's lifespan. So I went with that. These were the first storyboards that I came up with near the start of the weeks, and my idea at this stage was completely different from the idea that I wanted and that I ended up at the end. For this idea, I wanted it to start off with just someone, the back of their head, just seeing the back of their head, and then as the camera panned out, you would see the balloon standing there in a lovely view where they were standing, and then it would pan out again and you would see the full body, and then you would move it, the camera would move down and it would see the hand, and the hand would open up and the balloon would let go, and then the last shot of that scene then would be the balloon flying away and me either tracking the balloon or seeing the balloon later on within the film. My general idea was for that to happen, someone went up and let go of the balloon, and later on in the film a random person would pick up the balloon and the balloon would pop in their hands, and once the balloon popped in that person's hands, the person from the start where you see at the start letting go of the balloon, their eyes closed. So that was the balloon was symbolising their life and how long they've lived, and when it popped it symbolised them dying. Whole work of waking up, coming into life and dying as well, you know, going from being a child to a granny or a granda, and that's why I came up with these couple of actors. So someone would play a child, someone would play a teenager, and then another young teenager, and then a workman, and then a granny or a granda. As the weeks progressed then, and I kind of cancelled down what I wanted to do and what I wanted to focus on, I cancelled it down to just 3 characters, and that was Ryan, Gabriel and Maggie, and there was the teenager who would be playing the football. Gabriel was the one who was going to be the workman in the workshop, etc., and Maggie was the granny who was walking down the steps. These are the storyboards that I came up with in the end up. So I went from having at least 4 or 5 people for my film and cut it down to 3 different people, and that is the teenager playing football, the workman and the granny. From the start I've had a couple of different shots, working from long distance running shots to close-up shots of the football and different angles of letting go of the balloon for the first part. Long shots in graveyards, close-up in graveyards as well, are other shots that I did take and other ones that I didn't take and didn't go with. The other ones that I did take as well was in the workshop. This was one of my other locations that I picked for my second person, and these were a lot similar to the first shots on the first person. So the long shots and the short shots of the graveyard and the close-ups of the workplace and the close-ups of the football are the exact same shots, but with different people. And finally, with the last person, I did it differently. Them walking out of their house and walking down the lane and meeting them first. So they were standing waiting for her. And then she turns around and she's by herself again, but she lets go of the balloon by herself. Then in the end, these are the storyboards where they are just walking in the graveyard and the 3 of them are helping her along because the other 2 have already gone and they help her on her way. And these are just them different storyboards. And that is the last shot of the balloons sitting on the grave, sitting on the grave. So whenever I got all of my shots together and I knew exactly what I was doing and what shots I want to do, what characters I was using and what I was doing all together, I had to look for locations. And because Ryan's was focused on him playing football and it always was focused on that, I knew I had to do a football field, so I chose Drunken Football Field, which is where I live. And for Gabriel, he was the workman. I wanted him either coming out of a working site or a workshop. So my uncle has a workshop, so we just used that where he was hammering on the tool shed and with the work table and stuff. And then the last one was my granny Maggie, and we just used her home because she has steps walking up onto her home, and the lane that we all live on, we use that as well for the scenes together. There's quite a lot of scenes of them walking down the lane by themselves and meeting each other, etc. So I used my own lane, and then whenever they're in the graveyard, I picked the Drunk One graveyard because it was the closest. These are a couple of videos of the different locations that I went for throughout the entire film. Within the different locations, I came across slight problems, and they were all to do with the weather in general and the balloons that I used. The weather was quite windy, so the balloons were kind of floating away the way I wanted to, but in some cases they were floating away and they were just popping randomly. And the scene at the start when Ryan lets go of the balloon and the balloon pops was completely a coincidence. It just popped out of the blue whenever it was flying away, so I added it in anyway because it goes with the concept. But I had a lot of problems with trying to get the balloons to float upwards, which is why in one scene I got my sister to just throw the balloons up in the air so I could get even a slight bit of video of the balloons floating away up in the air. These are some of the videos that show the process of showing the characters what way we wanted them to go about their scenes and how we wanted them to walk and what exactly we wanted them to do. And I was doing the camera work, and my sister and my auntie, I was telling them what way I wanted it done, and then they were showing it to the characters while I was filming it. This was an ongoing process that we did constantly with our characters, and these are just some of the videos that show the way we did it and how we explained it and how we showed them what we wanted them to do. These couple of videos are some of the shots that I didn't use at all in my film because I just generally thought that they weren't necessary. I did have some of these in my storyboards as I wanted them done, but whenever I was putting the film together, they just didn't look right on some occasions and just didn't link with they were just not needed for the film. I had shown enough rather than like having back views of them walking through their graveyard and with Ryan, the football character, soloing and stuff. There was just no need for them.